It's day 26 of the 30-day film challenge, and today I bring you a film that made me feel happy. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, day 26 of the 30-day film challenge. Getting there, close to the end. And today I present you with a film that made me feel happy. So, take your pick. Bit of a hard question really, and in a sense, and how do you approach this? Because some of these questions are a bit silly like this. So are we talking in the sort of gooey sense, in the sort of I watched this film and I felt really happy coming away from it at the end, because every film I've got in my collection makes me feel happy, because I love film, I love cinema, I love to collect. So whenever I get a new film, I'm happy. But a film that sentimentally made me feel happy, I don't really know, you know. So it's a really difficult question. It's a very open question in a sense. So I'm going to bring you one film that made me feel happy, and it is this one here. Yeah, Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame. Why did it make me feel happy? Is it a happy feeling film? Not really in that sense, but it made me feel happy. In a sense, when I think, okay, so I grew up reading comic books. I read comic books now. Read comic books pretty much my entire life, from a young lad, starting with things like the Beano and the Dandy and things like that, then moving into the realm of Transformers and Spider-Man and Marvel and DC, and that's remained till today. And way back when, the days of Wizard magazine, if you're a comic collector you would know, Wizard magazine is a magazine that used to come out on a monthly basis that was about comics, and within there they used to do like a casting call for a superhero movie, kind of like a fan casting, because you never got superhero movies. They were, budgetary wise, they were considered too expensive to do. You could never get them, and having a crossover film with a couple of characters in was a pipe dream, was something that only people ever, you know, dreamed of. Obviously we had, in the 80s, we had the Batmans, we did, and the Supermans, that sort of a thing, but beyond that there wasn't really anything else. And then obviously in the late 90s we ventured into things like Blade, early 2000s, to the X-Men, Spider-Man, and by 2008 we'd opened these floodgates, these doors, where technology had got to a point where you could give us big budget, well made, great looking movies. So as a comic book fan, it was like this era that had only just been, we could only just dream about as comic book fans from the years before. So in a sense we were happy, especially when you got things like the Avengers, and this was like a dream. It was our dream come true, and we were on cloud nine as comic book fans. That we were being presented with this world, and what Marvel done and what Marvel gave us was something extraordinary, this interconnected universe of these films that just went from one to the other, and they were all of quality to one degree or another, of some fantastic quality, culminating in Avengers Endgame. Obviously it's questionable the quality after that. We have seen a bit of a decline in you know, and that goes without saying. You know, you'd peaked around this era. So Avengers Endgame itself, the reason why I cite this as making me feel happy is because it was the culmination of 20 films, or whatever it was, 21 films coming together here that had been teased all the way through. It wasn't rushed. It was not like DC done. It was given to us perfectly. Not only that, but this is where the happiness part comes, is my favourite character within this world was Captain America. His story, because I've got a fascination, interest in World War II, the morals of people that lived during that time compared to today. Captain America coming into, or Steve Rogers coming into present day and bringing those morals with him and this sort of a thing, and to get the ending of this story for him, which was a tragic story, but ultimately in the end it was a happy story for him. Even though from the perspective of outsiders it was as tragic because he was now an old man, but he'd gone back and he'd lived his life with Peggy Carter, you know, the woman that he had love interest for, and that he kind of lost, where he sacrificed himself. He finally went back and had that relationship with her that he missed out on, after saving the world essentially from the universe from Thanos, with the help of everyone else. It was just a fantastic moment, and the relationship between him and Peggy Carter is one of my favourite relationships within the MCU, and it's the heart of it that brings it all the way through for me personally. I know other people are more connected to Tony Stark and his story, but I was always connected to Steve Rogers and Captain America, and it was his story that flowed through these interconnected films that culminated in this at the end, and it made me really happy that we got that. And you know, this was committed to screen as a comic book collector, as a film fan, as a fan of this character. It's probably it's probably my second favourite Marvel character after the Punisher. Yeah, so not in the gooey sense of making me feel happy, come away like a feel-good film or anything like that, but there we go. That's what I present to you. The Avengers Endgame. So now it's your turn. Let me know down in the comments below a film that made you feel happy. It can be in any, you know, you can come at it from whatever angle you want. Obviously, you know, it could be a horror film that's made you feel happy because you finally got it. You know, Freddy versus Jason or something, because finally these two horror icons came together. That sort of a thing. It can be. Depends on how how you interpret the word happy. Has it got to be that gooey feeling inside a feel-good film? Not necessarily, no. However you want to interpret it. So let me know down below a film that made you feel happy. And then tomorrow I'll be back with the next day of this, which is this question here.